Meredith Gorman here, and are you still not subscribed to Matt's channel? Well, if you're not, hit the subscribe button because he's giving out free picks each and every week. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
Divisional round of the NFL playoffs is here, and we have some good matchups, guys. Good matchups, tight calls on some of them. Always tough to predict the spreads and totals in this time of the season. I'll be going over the 4 games. I'll be looking at the 4 games. Good week last week. Going 8-3 in all plays. That's props, money line, parlay, teaser, and spreads. That game I gave out, what did I give out last week? I gave Buffalo to you guys, Cincinnati, teaser for you guys. So hopefully you did also tail the video plays. It's been a great season in the NFL as expected. Let's go quickly into the weekly update here. Weekly update. NFL, good start to the playoffs as I mentioned after a good regular season. 68% the last 5 weeks in the NFL, guys. 68% last 5 weeks in the NFL. We always end the season strong here in the NFL. You get a good read on teams, especially later in the season. 64% best bets over 2 years now. 63% long term and over 40 units. That's the UFC. That's in the UFC. PGA, back-to-back profitable prop market to start the year. Just missed out on an outright last week with Henley. Plus 3,500, bad beat there. He lost he was up 5 shots on the back 9 and lost in a playoff to Hideki. That's always tough, but good overall. 70% best bets long term, 1 penny this week, highest in the market. NBA 67% on the season. Limited volume the last few weeks due to COVID and other issues. But we'll get back on track with more volume coming up. NHL 4-0 last week, moving to 14-9 on the year. Not focusing on the NHL too much, but I am picking my spots. Systemcapping.com, guys. Systemcapping.com if you want my personal plays for this weekend, for the month or the year. Just remember, guys, 5% of handicappers profit long term. My system is one of them, proven over the last 7 years, and 3 documented with clients on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Let's get right into it, guys. I'm not going to waste your time with all the extra activities, or extra critical, I call it. But let's get into Saturday's games here. I'm going to go over all 4 games, like I mentioned for you guys, as a treat. So let's go over all 4. I usually go over a couple. But no outright this week, and we ended the year 13-3 on the outright market. We will keep it at like that, but I will give you guys a teaser that I like and some leans on these games. Let's start with Bengals at Titans. Titans minus 3.5, total 47.5. Great story for both these teams, right? These two teams have great stories this year. Bengals win the division. I can't say I saw that coming. I knew they were going to be a better team. I just didn't expect a step that soon. And you got to look at, Cleveland's downfall, Baltimore's injury issues. So that helped, right? That helped as well for Bengals to get there. But hey, they've been impressive, this young team. The Titans were expected to be good, however, after all the injuries, losing Derrick Henry, wide receiver core banged up for most of the year, a lot of losses on defense. I didn't see them winning this division and getting a bye after all those injuries, but they're here. They're here, guys. Titans get back Derrick Henry, which is huge for them. They get Derrick Henry back for this game. They can run the ball like normal. Jones and Brown are healthy for this game as well. So it looks like their offense is all back like it was. Story for the Titans is Vrabel, their coach. He has done a great job with this team, and he has his team playing really physical. That's what I noticed when I watch Titans games. Very physical. They're always the more physical team, and that's their goal. That's their goal in every game. I expect that physicality to be a big factor here in this game on an offense and defensive side of the ball. Henry running really tough. Bengals mid-pack against the run. and not great versus the pass, right? Bengals' strength isn't their defense. It's not their defense. If Henry's running well and is okay, mixed in with some Foreman who showed signs towards the end of the year that he's capable. He's capable. He does have some fumbling issues, but he did look okay. Similar to Henry, just not as big, but he does run hard. He run hard. So, yeah, with that running game, it will open up the pass game for Tannehill and the Titans. A.J. Brown, right, one of the better wide receivers in the league, just needs to stay healthy. Speaking of wide receivers, Jamar Chase, one of the best young wide receivers in the league, rookie of the year, and he just has a great connection with Burrow, right? Titans may have a tough time holding him. Don't really have a shutdown corner. Their passing attack is 25th in the NFL this year. It just hasn't looked great at times, even though they have looked a bit better on defense as of late, and it goes back to that physicality, right? Titans are great against the run, and I think that's what's making them better overall. They are second in the NFL at yards allowed at 84 a game, guys. So Mixon, if you can shut down Mixon and they're forced to throw a ton, it may be too one-dimensional for the Bengals to steal a big win on the road here. You know, Titans are great at home, 7-2 on the year. I just think it's going to be a bit too much to ask for the Bengals and their young team to get a big road win here. Is it a huge surprise if Bengals win this game? No, it's not a huge surprise. I just think it may be a little too early and a little too much too soon for this Bengals squad. Could be a close game. That's why I don't love the spread at -3.5, and that's why the books have it like that. They know if they're 2.5, 3, there'll be a ton of Titans money. So I'll be staying away from the spread. Do like the Titans to get it done, though, and hopefully they keep my plus 2,500 ticket alive. That was at the start of the year. Next Saturday game here, the evening later game, 49ers at Green Bay. Green Bay -5.5 total, 47. Packers get their home game in the cold, which is what they want, right? This is what they want at the beginning of the year, and we expected this, to be honest, at the beginning of the year after all the Rodgers controversy. You know, this team had big injuries throughout the year, but they continue to win games, which their depth showed and just showed how good Rodgers has played, right? MVP of the season, no doubt. Their defense did well at times too. It's looked good, their defense. Not a lot of people are talking about their defense, but their defense actually has played well. Top 10 in the league against the pass, top 15 against the run. So they're solid enough on defense to not be exposed that much. However, if there is a weakness, it's the run, right? And that's what the 49ers want to do here. There's no secret about that. The Packers should be getting some key guys back for this game. Key guys. So Bakatari, he did play their tackle. He did play a little bit at the end of the regular season. He'll be back on that O-line for Rodgers. Jair Alexander looks like he'll play. And even Zadarius Smith also has a chance, which will be big for the pass rush, right? Randall Cobb also gives an extra weapon for Rodgers and a familiar one as well. Sanford, on the other hand, has a few key injuries. However, all should play. Bosa left the game and didn't return due to a concussion. Warner also left in the fourth with an injury. And then Jimmy G hurt his shoulder and won't be 100% for this one. So keep that in mind, guys. Right? I do think the 49ers match up well versus Green Bay. They like to run the ball, and that's how you beat Green Bay, by keeping Rodgers off the field and running the ball. No secret. Mitchell has really come on as of late. He looks good, and he's healthy now. And then they mix in Samuel in there as running back. He's kind of a Swiss Army knife. He does everything for him. He's very difficult to cover. I do expect Green Bay to make Jimmy G beat them and not to run, like they're going to run the ball, obviously, but you're going to have to stack the box, I think, against San Fran and make Jimmy G beat you with his arm. You know, Packers weren't terrible against the run, like I mentioned, mid-pack, so I don't think it's going to be a big issue for them. I don't think that San Francisco can just run the ball down their throats and just totally kill the clock. Weather should play a factor here as well, guys. You know, I don't believe San Fran played in one cold game all year. So we're going to see how that factors in. I think it does a bit, playing in San Fran and where it's always nice, right? Hard time seeing San Fran winning 3 huge games in a row. Expect them to Struggle here a bit. Maybe keep it close. They could keep this game close with the run game, and they do have a fairly solid defense as well, however you can throw on this 49ers team. 49ers could keep it close. I wouldn't be surprised if Green Bay wins by a touchdown plus either, to end the game. Maybe close game, and then Green Bay just wins it by a touchdown or more. Green Bay's a great teaser option here this week. You get it down to, plus 2.5, plus 3, depending what teaser you're playing, where you get it. I think Green Bay moves on, and my plus 1,200 ticket stays alive. Sunday games, Rams at Bucks. Rams at Bucks, -3. Bucks total 48. Interesting one here. I learned from last year when I was on the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, stop betting against Tom Brady. This offense is, it's a bit watered down this playoffs with no Brown, no Godwin, and banged up at running back core. Fournette seems like he is probable to play, but Jones is doubtful. It just seems like it never matters who's out there, right, when Brady's at quarterback. So it's hard to kind of handicap that, how much that's of a loss, because we've seen it with Evans taking over the number one role, and then their secondary guys playing well, right? You find someone to throw to all the time. Obviously, Gronk as well is there, but other guys have been catching balls for him. The defense continues to be the same. Very good versus the run, top 5 in the NFL. However, you can throw on this offense and are at closer to the bottom of the NFL in yards allowed against the pass guys. Keep that in mind. Now you do want to trust. The question here is, do you want to trust Stafford in a big game on the road versus Tom Brady to outthrow him and have a better game than Brady? We haven't seen it, right? So it's hard for me to jump on the Rams here. That's tough to believe in my eyes. Stafford has never been here in his career, so this is a tall task for an outright win here. Now, this Rams teams looked great last week, which I did expect them to get the win. We were on the Rams. The defense has the tools to limit Brady, but not stop him completely. Rams got back Akers for the last game, and he looked great. What can he do against his Tampa Bay run D, though, right? It's a big addition for the Rams. The Cardinals are terrible against the run. But Akers and Sony Michel now, very solid 1-2 punch, so I do like that. Problem, though, with the Bucks, these two need to be able to run the ball somewhat. You can't just rely on Stafford throwing the ball the whole game. They're going to have to find holes, Akers and Michel. They're going to have to have some sort of a run game to open up the pass for Stafford. Rams will need to bring some pressure to Brady as well if they have a chance to win this game. Donald and Floyd are more than capable of doing that. Ramsey will need to limit Evans, so Brady doesn't have that go-to wide receiver in the team to definitely make that important catch. I won't be betting against Brady. I won't also be on Tampa Bay as well. I think it's a close game, so you can look at Rams on a teaser is what I suggest here. Gun to my head, Bucks on the money line, but this is not going to make my card. Total 48, no comment on that. I lean the over. That's if Stafford shows up and plays with Brady. The big game, the game I'm most excited about, Buffalo at KC -2. I think it's a pick'em. In my eyes, total 53.5. Some 54s out there. This is the game I'm looking for the most, right? No stranger between these two teams. These teams know each other quite well. A true toss-up, in my opinion. And they have favored for KC, which I agree because they're at home. Right? These two played in October. The Bills blew them out 38-20. Teams are a little different then. Chiefs didn't find themselves until later, November, December, and they went on that run. So it's tough to really go over that game. But it was on the road. Bills showed they can go into KC and win a game. It's not the big important game, though, right? We've seen KC win last year. Keep that in mind. They started playing better in November, if I recall. And in the past 2 months, KC just been looking great. Only one loss, and it was the Bengals on the road in overtime. Both teams are coming off blowout performances and truly the best two teams in the AFC. Too bad they aren't meeting to make the Super Bowl. The reason I'm going to lean the Bills here is for two reasons. One, their defense. I think it's a much better defense than any defense the KC has faced in the past 2 months or so. So that's one thing. Then you can look at also that, this is the best offense that the Bills has faced. So it could go both ways, right? But the big difference here is Allen can put up points. So if this defense could hold KC into the 20s, Bills can score 30 plus. Allen has shown it, right? Allen just put 47 up last week. He is playing great football right now. It was a treat to watch him, what he did against this Pats defense. And, some would say Pats defense is better than KC. So there is some opportunity for Allen to score and get into the 30s. It just, can the defense limit Mahomes is going to be the big question. And I really like this Buffalo defense. It's a very good defense. You can throw on them, so you can probably run on them more than throw, but it's going to be hard to limit Mahomes and totally take him out of the plans, right? Take him out of the game plan. Mahomes will find his way, will find his wide receivers. No Tre'Davious White. That's a big loss for that Bills secondary. But guys have been stepping up. I expect Bills as a road, as a good road dog here. You can get a decent price. Definitely a good teaser play. I expect this game to be close. It's hard to see a blowout here. It should be a close game. Wouldn't roll out maybe even like an overtime game to make this game even more intriguing. Total, I can see it going over. I can see it definitely going over. It's climbing. It moved to 54, I think, on some books. So I can lean the over here. Tough to call the outright, though, right? It is tough. I have some outrights on Buffalo. I've been on Buffalo all year, so I'm going to lean Buffalo. But I don't know if it's going to make my betting card. Underdogs this week, no official, since we did end that segment, 13 and 3, 81%. Thank you. But if I had to pick, it has to be the Bills as an outright underdog. But I wouldn't be surprised, if we see another outright, possibly the Rams, possibly the Bengals, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see two outrights as dogs win this weekend. Like I always do, guys, I will end with a teaser. We've been on a nice teaser tear as of late. I think 6 of the last 7 weeks we won on the teaser. I could be wrong, but I do think that is accurate. Top teaser this week, top 2 plays will be the Bills +9 and Packers +2.5. That will be my favorite teaser. That will do it, guys. That will do it for divisional round playoffs. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Check out my UFC video if you haven't already. Big heavyweight title fight. I'll be back with the final four. The final four next week. And like I always say, guys, bet smart and don't make mistakes.